All right, today we're going to learn how to prime IV tubing. Before you start your IV fluids, you want to make sure that you have the correct IV fluids for the correct patient. So you're going to check your orders, and then you're going to verify that you have the right patient, right IV fluids. Your IV fluids should have a blue cap on them. If your IV fluids do not have a blue cap on it, that means that it has been used. So all your IV fluids should be brand new, unused. Make sure that it has this little blue cap on it. Then you're going to make sure that you get the correct IV tubing, and this is the IV tubing. You're going to open your IV tubing, and this is what it should look like when you open it. This is a clamp. When you open your IV tubing, you're going to clamp the clamp. And along your IV tubing, you have ports. You can connect secondary tubing to your ports, and some people use the ports to administer medication through the ports. And these are the little ports along your IV tubing. All right. Before you start priming, remember to make sure that it is clamped off. Uh-oh. Usually what happens is that it doesn't squirt out like that, but you're going to, that's why you want to make sure you have a trash can in front of you as well. Fill the chamber halfway full. See the chamber right here? And then you're going to slowly roll the clamp up. And then you see it, the fluid dripping into the chamber. You want to make sure that there are no bubbles in the tubing. And you want to make sure that your tubing never touches the floor. If your tubing touches the floor, you need to start all over and get new fluids, okay? Now, the IV fluids have made it all the way to the very end, and there are no bubbles in the tubing. So you want your IV fluids to go all the way to the end, and I'm going to turn it back on. And once it gets to the end, you clamp your tubing. And I'm going to show you what it looks like once it gets to the very end. And take the little cap off, and then here's what it looks like. You can see the fluid coming out of the end. If you open the chamber all the way up, the faster the fluid will drip out. If you close it a little bit, you can slow down how fast the fluid is dripping out of your IV tubing. Once you have primed your tubing, you can then connect it to your patient. To connect it to your patient, you want to make sure that you have alcohol swabs. And these are your alcohol swabs. These are your alcohol swabs. And this is your patient. Before you connect anything to your patient, you want to verify that it is the correct patient to your chart. And your chart will be on the computer right at your bedside. So, your IV tubing will be clamped. So first you're going to clean it off. You're going to clean for 30 seconds. And then you're going to let it dry for 30 seconds. Make sure to unclamp your IV fluids here. And then make sure to unclamp the IV fluids here. And this is how your patient gets the IV fluids, through their IV. And that is it for priming your IV tubing and connecting it to your patient.